Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning to doctor and all my friend. We are from group 8. We need to present about a country risk assessment in China. Our group member is me, Hairani Anissa, Farika Cindy, Nur Asha Shikin, and Izzat Fakrullah. Okay, business is an activity carried out to obtain the desired profit. However, country risk assessment cannot be purely economic. It is also important to consider political factors. On the other hand, China, as the largest and most powerful country in East Asia, has tremendous power and has a fast development in its business and economic world. Next is about the country profile, demographic profile. In 2019, China population was 1.4 billion people. In 2019, cities accounted for 60.6% of the overall population. The major urban region had the following population: Beijing 18.65 million, Shanghai 21.44 million, Tianjin 20.87 million. China is a multicultural country with 56 ethnicities. The Han Chinese are China's largest ethnic group. Next is economy profile. Since 1978, since China opened and restructured its economy, growth has averaged about 10% per year, with more than 800 million people live out of poverty. China is now the second largest economy in the world and is more prominent in global trade. Another major change that has occurred is in increasing coverage of universal health, education, and other services. The last is politic profile. Since 1949, China has had a communist government run by the dominant political party. The CCP, or also known as the Chinese Communist Party, is the main and dominant entity of the People's Republic of China. The CCP Politburo Standing Committee is the largest and most powerful decision-making committee in the state.
Social political risk. Social political risk is the combination word from social and political, as this study is concerned with exploring how government and society interact and influence one another at micro and macro level of analysis. This used to describe the differences between the group of people relating to their political belief and social class. As before before they enter to China, the firm must seek the full information to avoid any miscommunication or any misunderstanding to interpret their norms and value in the host country. Some of the example is China. They are more relationship oriented or collectivisms. They are belief on trust and harmony to cooperate toward common benefits. They are taboo that must be aware and consider avoiding in implementing on the product, service, or work culture. There are Chinese hierarchy system and power distance are very important in any organizations. And 996 work extreme culture refers to the requirement to employee to work from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 6 days per week. From the political aspects, companies must avoid talk or condemning, criticize any political issue, figures, or policy in China. Thus, this can create a problem to the company itself, whether they can be sanctioned or boycotts or even shut down by the governments. Next, China bureaucracy are tight administration in the government sector make the foreign company to enter has quite challenge to face. The administrative tasks, license, products approval are timing consuming. There are length procedure and getting a large number of necessary license and permits. Next, a lack of transparency in the regulatory process because issue of corruption, bribery. The intellectual property rights have a weak implementation and enforcement. They have many product has been counterfeit or there be issue. Next, the human right issue, child laboring in China are the main concern from the human right human right organization. And child laboring also is one of the factors that can be considered a risk in China. On the left table show the table about the aspect of governance as the World Bank ranked China at the second worst quarter. This due to part of the corruption, insufficient legal protection and political engagement, and also inconsistent of application of the law. For accountability and voice in China ranks the bottom of quarter. Governance efficiency is rated at top quarter while partial due to how the effective governance policy are in containing the credit and leverage risk while also preserving the GDP growth and economic financial stability. On the right table show the political unrest or the political risk in China. There's the new security law, the trade dispute, the allegation of human rights violation in Xinjiang, all contributed to and the increase in China multiple risks and potential danger. As shown by the table that show the country of China relative high score for contract agreement reproduction at 5.5, expropriation at 5.1, strike and riot and civil commotion at 5.0. This is due to mostly the social unrest in Hong Kong and escalated tension with the Taiwan. The probability of conflict and civil war has grown for China, moving from 2 to 3.5. These are the some of the summary of the social political risks in China that can lead to the danger or risk to the business who want to invest or come to move in China.
I would like to tell about economy risk when doing business in China. Generally, China is the second largest economy in the world. This is due to the export of goods and services in China provides hook profit for many investors around the world. China export-oriented strength make it an ideal business location for any company trying to expand internationally. Doing business in China, there are many economic risks that we will face. For instance, market access, bureaucracy, competition, and administration. In local distribution networks, local consumer buying pattern and regular requirements make China a very difficult market to enter, especially when combined with a different market environment than most other countries in the world, make it difficult to take initial steps. Furthermore, bureaucracy as their number one concern when expanding into China, with 31% of the 300 more respondents in the business survey, where foreign companies often struggle with laws and regulation in China. However, in administration, many tedious operating tasks can leave the managerial desk flooded with documents like licenses, product approval, and more, where the complexity of overcoming the bureaucracy make it the biggest task penetrating the Chinese market.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. My name is Nur Ashashikin binti Zulkarnain and I will present on the natural risks of doing business in China. So, as we all know, China is located in East Asia along the Pacific Ocean's coastline, where it is prone to tropical cyclones and has a monsoon-controlled climate. So, this country experiences regular seismic activity and earthquake due to its location at the intersection of the Circum-Pacific Seismic Zone. So, due to its enormous territory size and unique geographic environment, China had been known as one of the most disaster-prone countries. The first thing about natural disaster in China is the high frequency. So, China is severely affected by monsoon weather and frequent disaster. Regional and partial droughts occur almost every year. Around 7 tropical cyclones hit the eastern coastal areas annually. So because China lies right in the region where the Eurasian, Pacific and Indian Ocean plates meet, it suffers from frequent earthquakes due to still active tectonic movement. So most of the earthquakes that hit China are continental, which means they affect the whole world. Other than that, China is a mountainous country, so the mountainous regions and hilly areas are frequently hit by collapse, landslide and debris flow. Other than that also, fire often break out of forests and on grassland due to climate change. So the significant loss from natural disaster that occur in China every year, in 1989 to 2018, it had caused 195,820 deaths of people, while it caused $1,698 billion direct physical loss to China, and then the direct damage has increased from $47 billion in the 1990s to $65 billion in the 2010. Other than that, 38.86 million hectares of crop have experienced a yield loss of at least 10%, while 4.95 million hectares were severely destroyed, which represent a yield loss larger than 80% of the total loss. So the average annual fatalities per million people has been 5%, while direct economic loss as a percentage of gross domestic product (GDP) has been 2.25%. Due to climate change, there will be increasing disaster risk in China. This is because the frequency of disaster in China will always increase as the climate change increase. Disasters such as upper typhoon and intense rainfall is rising, which make the riverine and flash flood increase. Drought and heat waves are also projected to become more frequent and severe with climate change and global warming. So factors such as population expansion, economic development, fast urbanization, and interregional trade integration could also result in compounding worldwide effect of China's natural disaster.
In conclusion, China is indeed an interesting market to explore, but there are many challenges that are not easy to overcome. With determination, effort, careful research, and little time, you can still crack the China's code. It's all about familiarizing yourself with unique business environment in China. Thus, we must make it a business in China because China is the second largest economy in the world and its growth is very fast.